It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning. Not Jamie Maloney this morning. It's Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy. I'm here today guest hosting for Jamie, who is off in West by God, Virginia on a high school reunion. We all know what high school reunions are like, so we wish him safe travels. And today we got a great show today. We have women in the house. It's female power today on Focus Friday special edition with Sharon Fecchetti. Fecchetti, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Gosh,
I'm kidding.
You know, how many times do people bausch that?
Like every day I hear
I am
that.
so sorry. And I've known you for
for
a while now, so I apologize immensely. It's the morning hour. I really have no excuse.
This is the best way to start, though.
Fecchetti.
With laughter.
Not to mention her nerves are on edge because the two people you don't want to invite to your party because will ruin it are sitting right across from
Oh,
them.
stop.
Friday party.
Well, Sharon, let me just let people know who don't know about you. Sharon is the Doctor Whisperer. She's over 15 years experience managing, marketing, and supervising successful medical practices from New York to Florida. Her special style of results-driven marketing and branding has her clients and staff looking at their practices in a whole new light. Sharon's testimonials speak for themselves, promoting her ability to work with people and teams, transforming underperforming offices into Uber medical centers. The Doctor Whisperer, Sharon Fecchetti.
Oh, yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Sharon.
You like how I threw that Uber in there?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So now, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. So
Awesome.
good to see you again. So
good to see
we're
you.
going to jump right in here. So tell me, we're going to talk a little bit about hospitality and healthcare today.
Oh, I am on fire this morning, okay,
boy.
everybody? So good morning, Tampa Bay, and good morning, That Business Show. It's a big party in the studio today. It's very exciting. My main man, Josh, next to me. We don't know how we're going to get through it, but we're going to because
will.
limited sleep and lots of excitement going on here so early in the morning. Yeah, hospitality and healthcare is like the theme for the Dr. Whisperer these days, and I got really great insight into how things are really going in healthcare. My mother-in-law, God rest her soul, God rest her soul, that sounds like she's not with me. She is. I just saw her when I went to bed last night. She broke her foot. Okay. And and not only did she break her foot, but she just lost her companion of over 40 years. And so it's a very hard time for her, right? So I took the initiative to make all of her doctor appointments yesterday. And oh boy, was it fun. So I started at 8:30 in the morning and called the first doctor. And I left 3 voicemails after that because I did not get a human being answering the phone, right? And today, that's more of the norm. You call up and it's, thank you for calling, Dr. Schlappenheimer. And please leave a message and I'll call you back. So
And they don't.
And well, they don't. Yeah. So I obsessively and stalking, that's kind of my nature, to call back until somebody answers. And then I actually know this office, so I called the number next door and asked them if they could go next door and tap on somebody's shoulder and ask them to call me. So, but that, just that, I can't even imagine my mother-in-law having to go through that herself. Mm-hmm. Just to make an appointment.
Yeah.
I would assume that most people would just give up, right?
Right.
You just give up. You're just like, oh, you know what?
Well, especially if you're not feeling well or some people can't even talk well enough to be able
Right.
to say, I have something wrong.
Exactly. And, I've always been an advocate for the healthcare advocate. We were just talking about that before we came on air. And they are so important and so valuable. While I was on the phone, I was just putting myself in the shoes of my mother-in-law, of my mom, of my dad, because they're making a lot of doctor appointments now. They're in their 70s and looking good, okay? If you're listening, looking real good in their 70s. But they have to go to a lot of doctor appointments because they have to take care of their health. So by the time I got somebody on the phone, then, of course, the best news was that she needed a referral. Oh, I was so happy to hear that. I'm like, oh, so I have to call another doctor's office. Fantastic. And once they heard of the insurance that she had that required a referral, She said, well, I'm not going to be able to probably get you in here today. It's probably going to be next week. Well, like I mentioned before, there's a funeral happening next week. So I said, well, we're going to make this happen today. Okay. So I will call the office and I'll make sure that you get that referral today. And that was 2.5 more hours of my time. So let's just get it out there that I didn't do any work for my clients yesterday, okay? So if you're listening, I did not work for you yesterday because I was on the phone making doctor appointments, for God's sakes.
So that is a big problem for
Huge.
caregivers, right? Caregivers have
huge.
such a huge responsibility. And
Yes.
most of us in this room are of the generation of that sandwich generation,
Yes.
kids and parents on either side of us that we're trying to take care of. And I know for me, my parents live in Missouri. So I'm always worried and concerned. And even though I have siblings there, it's still, I feel like, should I be there?
Yeah.
And my mother recently had surgery. And, it's always the whole time I felt like, do I need to go? And she was like, oh, no, it's just knee surgery. But she's
Yeah.
82 years old. So, you can't help but worry.
Yeah.
So caregiving is like a full-time job in itself.
Yes.
So when we have this, especially if our parents come to live with us.
Right.
And your mother-in-law just
Well,
is
she
staying
just
with
stayed
you?
the night last
Okay.
night.
All
Yeah.
right.
We wanted to make sure she was in good care.
Absolutely. But it's another instance of where we don't want to leave them alone.
Sure.
So we bring them into our homes so we can take care of them. And
Right.
it's still, just even for a short period of time, it's
Yeah.
the uproar. Of,
Yeah, but you know what? I really, thank goodness I was of sound mind. And I think it's because I work with so many amazing clients that are in this wellness industry. My client Evolve Personal Health have introduced me to meditation as of recent. So I've been able to really just be completely self-aware of what was going on. And I really just put myself in her shoes. And I thought there's absolutely no way she could have done this today. There's no way she could have made that appointment and gotten that referral and ensured that it all happened by 1:30. We sat in that doctor's office from 1:30 until 4:30.
But you're also fortunate enough because you own your own business and
Yes.
you're the CEO of your own business
Yes.
that you can take that time and make that decision.
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of people can't. So, how would you suggest to people who, can't take time off work handle kind of these situations?
You have to hire somebody. You have to get Anna Inglet from Putnam Health Advocates.
There you
There's my
go.
shout out for you, Anna. And if you're not listening, you're in big trouble and you just missed a nice shout out. But
Catch it on YouTube.
well,
though.
that's true. We could play it later. But there's so many here in Tampa Bay. Honest to God, it's kind of like how I felt after some very strange scenario, but I will. That's me. After I got married, I realized I needed a wedding planner. Right?
Right.
So it's the same thing, but totally like really, really happy day. But I was so stressed out. I wish I had have just hired a wedding planner to take care of all of it because they know what they're doing. They know how to execute. They know how to get on the phones and demand things to happen. And that's all I did yesterday. Listen, even my husband, who is a very intelligent man, there's absolutely no way he could have done what I did yesterday. And it's not because of any other reason except that I'm in the industry. And when she
Absolutely.
told me that there's no way I can get a referral today, I said, "Ooh, girl, yes, we can."
You just
It's
challenged
going
the
to
doctor
happen.
whisperer. I'm going to be
Yes.
whispering very loud.
Yes, and I come from a place of yes, not no.
Yes.
So let's do this together. So, it was a huge eye-opening experience, and one of the many reasons that I created the front office ambassador course online recently. Because it's the person that answers the phone. It's the person that is handling the referral. It's really that
the
hospitality.
first impression of your business.
Yes, and unfortunately, even sitting in that waiting room was really great for my own business because I got to hear what was going on, and they were talking about how this was the worst day ever up front, and they wish they had called in sick, and this is the busy. It's not a good thing.
No.
And I do want to talk more about it. It's better to talk about it than post it on Facebook.
We're going to
Just
take
saying.
a quick break and we're going to come back with Sharon Fekete, the doctor whisperer. Back in a moment.
Attention medical professionals. Have you heard that Tampa Bay will become the first certified wellness district in the country? Thanks to Jeff Fennick's revitalization of Channelside, the Dr. Whisperer wants to streamline your efforts in preparation. So when you're ready to ignite your practice, use the Dr. Whisperer's public relations expertise to spread the word. Use the Dr. Whisperer to motivate your staff. And use the Dr. Whisperer to recruit and secure leaders within your practice. Call the Dr. Whisperer today at 727-420-2481 or visit thedrwhisperer.com where they write your prescription for success.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today. What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information. At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Heavy traffic on the Howard Franklin Bridge into Tampa. Crash off to the right-hand side near the end of the bridge. Not blocking any lanes, but everyone's slowing down to look at it. Also, we've got slow traffic on westbound I-4 approaching 275 and a crash in Clearwater on Drew Street just east of Myrtle. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson and your Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council. So many of you thought about becoming teachers when you were little. Well, it's time to put it back on your list. Innovative things are happening in teaching today. Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Teach.org. Make more. Teach.
Today, a mix of sun and clouds with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 30% rain chance, high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning. Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy. I'm guest hosting today for Jamie, who's out in West Virginia at a high school reunion. And in the studio today, we have fabulous Sharon Fekete, the Doctor Whisperer, and we've been talking about hospitality and healthcare and your recent experience with your mother-in-law.
Yes.
Tell us more.
Well, I just ended my Facebook Live because I am blonde and I can't handle more than one thing at a time. Okay, let's be real, everybody. I don't know how Dion Lim does it all the time.
She looked up and literally realized she was on air. She's like,
I have watched people do it and then like have a broadcast going on at the same time. I'm like, you're a genius. I got to work on that. Not enough sleep. So yeah. So just to wrap it up about yesterday, you know, really for the patient advocates, that's like the greatest thing ever. And I will be a patient advocate for my mother-in-law and my mom and dad, of course. Of course, they had a great time hearing about what I was going through yesterday and texting me all day asking when they could move in. I told them that I had plenty of room in the garage. But
that's the mother-in-law suite, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, but really, I mean, it is a blessing and a gift just to have them. So I will always be an advocate for them. I just really wish that there was more influence placed on teaching that hospitality and healthcare. I really do.
Family members or
to the people that work there, you know, and again, thank you for that softball pitch, Josh. Again, why I started this online course for the front office ambassador that's on my website. That's only $99 until the end of the summer. So, promo, I'm all about the self-promo. But, you know, I did this because it was what happened in every doctor's office that I went to. Well, except for my client's office, because I get to tell them how vital it is that that person that's answering the phone, that's greeting the patient, that's talking to them, for somebody that's over 70 to make those phone calls, I was listening to people just cut them off and be short with them. And even there was this poor woman, I mean, she had a cane and she had to be in her 80s. You know, she signed the wrong sheet and she got reprimanded by the lady up front. So I couldn't help myself, of course. I'm like, really? She's in her 80s. I mean, let's give her some love for just showing up by herself.
Right.
It's like they assumed that the elderly grew up with all of this technology like we did. And
right.
It's not the case.
And, so that's really great to mention, right? So I filled out 17,000 pages of paperwork.
Oh, don't you hate that?
Well,
I just want to hand them like something that says, here's everything you need. Don't make me fill this
Let's
out
just
again.
record it. Let's Facebook Live all of your symptoms.
Let me just tell you.
The patient demographics.
That works.
We'll tweet it out.
That works until something shiny appears in the room. And
that and HIPAA might be a little problem. HIPAA could come into that, right? But honestly, after we filled out, so I filled out all the symptoms for her. That was fun. And then they gave me this, what looks like your iPad case right there. It was this huge electronic digital contraption that was heavy, right? And my mother-in-law couldn't carry it. So I filled out everything that I just wrote out.
Are you kidding?
No, well, I'm not kidding. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not kidding. But it goes to show how there is such a disconnect in the medical industry right now. And it starts at not teaching the physicians about business in medical school.
Last week on our Focus Friday show, we had a woman on there talking about the customer experience. She had worked with Disney for years and learned, from the kings of customer experience. And she said, all the time, every business, they really need to be thinking about it from the customer's point of view.
All the time.
Because if you don't, how much business do you lose?
They lose
but the
so
frustration
much
and then they hate
I always
you.
tell my clients, I say, listen, that person up front sometimes is the last person they think about when they're hiring. And that's, really great. We're going to talk about how vital it is when you're training and you're hiring your staff within with training. They're coming up next, which I love because that is so important. Your team is so important. So when doctors ask me to help them grow their practices, I say, I can't wait. I'm so excited. We're so not going to put a billboard up because I'm not really sure how many patients come from that. I've never seen a doctor's face that I went, I have to go see him today. I mean, not that there's anything wrong. I think advertising and doing the promotions when you have that type of budget is fantastic. But in the beginning, let's start with our team. And, even in my course, I created a Disney moment because I do believe that they're so important. If you just took that extra time and said something nice to my mother-in-law, it could have changed the entire experience for her. Yeah. So, but enough about that, right? Let's talk about my amazing client, Evolve Personal Health, if I might.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Okay, so Evolve Personal Health, they've been here. Dr. Vim Patel has been here, and Chitra Patel has been here. She's a life coach.
People.
Aren't they great?
Yes.
She is a life coach and an introspective counselor and Dr. Vim Patel was a hospitalist and is a concierge medicine physician now. And I can't wait for him to just continue doing all the talks that they're doing right now in the Tampa Bay community to really shed some light on this whole insurance experience for everybody, right?
Isn't it a main pain in everybody's craw right now?
But, not just for the physician, but we were just having this conversation during the break, for the patient.
Yeah.
If you really understood and you had a breakdown of how much it actually costs you per month for your insurance plan and compared that to a concierge or a direct medical that we were talking about in one of the shows this week, it is amazing, and then you get the highest level care. You want to talk about a Disney moment? Sign up with Evolve Personal Health and you'll have them all day long. I mean, in their employee handbook, it talks about love. Okay, so we're talking about some serious evolved thought going into this practice. And
how
now,
do people find where Evolve Personal Health is?
It's just evolvepersonalhealth.com. They've been on the show. They've been on Bay News 9 and Daytime and iHeartRadio. We did a segment with
Are they located in Tampa?
They're in South Tampa.
In South Tampa,
So
great.
their grand opening, this is the other great thing, and they laugh at me now because I talk about them being the best of my clients since I opened my business, and only for one reason, is that they hired me before they opened their practice. So It hasn't even opened yet, and I've been working with them since January. So we've done all of their PR, all of their marketing materials. We made sure that it looked good. We're doing speaking events. They've been here. There is so much work that goes into opening a business, as you know. It's not like you can just turn the open sign on and people are just going to go, oh my God, you guys are like so awesome and I'm going to come there because it's great. It doesn't work like that.
I wish I could get more clients when they first start than when they get into overwhelm.
Because then you're just cleaning up a mess.
Oh, yeah.
I feel myself going in with a huge broom and just going sweep. So because of their example, it really just sheds so much light on how things can be done. You have to spend the money. There's that old saying, you got to spend money to make money. It doesn't go away.
No.
That's the truth. You need a great team.
It's an investment in yourself and in your business. You're going to
Absolutely.
invest in your business anyway, so why not invest in somebody who can help you get there quicker?
Yeah. So, the last thing I want to say about Evolve Personal Health is just that they have a great introductory rate, and it's $250. Okay, so who can spend $250? I can on having this amazing package for 3 months for yoga classes, group meditation, any events that you would like. There's so many great things I love about Evolve, but let me tell you one more thing, because I actually pitched this to somebody before. Imagine having a life coach in your medical practice. So when somebody tells you bad news about your health, you could go talk to somebody about how you feel. Love it. Holler.
Coming up next, we're going to have the intuitive training in the house, so stay tuned. That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Bottle. BearAdvance.com. Always read and follow label directions.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Good morning. Our biggest delays around the area are on the Howard Franklin Bridge into Tampa. Now, it's a minor crash off to the right-hand side near the end of the bridge, but traffic already slow, almost back to the St. Pete side. Once you get past that, no delays into downtown Tampa. Westbound I-4, only slow between just past the Selma Connector and 275, and a minor crash in Clearwater Drew, just east of Myrtle. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Udrich, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
While many rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. Mahatma Gandhi reached out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. So, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
1250 winds, weather center forecasts. We'll have another sunny morning, giving way to showers and storms, a bit more clouds into the afternoon. Could see some heavy rainfall with these thunderstorms today. Low mid-90s for the high, low in the mid to upper 70s weekend. Lower rain chance each day and a little cooler temps, close to those low 90s, and chance of showers around 30%. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning, Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, guest hosting today for Jamie, who's out of town. And in the studio today, we have some great ladies. We have Jan Henderson and Dawn Dill from Intuitive Training Solutions, and that's an N with the number 2, which is very unique branding. I love it. It's intuitive. So tell us, ladies, more about you.
Well, we're a training company that trains on interviewing, recruiting, and hiring. Yeah.
Great.
My background is both in healthcare. So we've worked together for about 30 years. Hiring, recruiting. Dawn's been on the recruiting side. I've been
you guys want to get closer to the mic and just, when you go to talk, pull it to you. Yeah.
Okay. So we've worked together for about 30 years in the healthcare industry, medical device and pharma, placing candidates and into roles that they could be culturally fit and happy in their workplaces. So now we've decided to work together as business partners, start up Intuitive Training Solutions so that we can help others do the same thing, train their own staff how to hire and make sure that they select the right people to join their organization.
And where are you located?
I'm in St. Pete, and Dawn's in Sarasota.
And I'm in Sarasota, and actually I placed Jan as a recruiter 4 times over the last 30 years. And then when she became a manager, she hired candidates from me. So we both have interviewing, recruiting, and hiring experience, but we come from different places, so it's a really good match.
Awesome. It sounds like a very interesting way of getting the right people into healthcare. And Sharon Feckerty is here, the Dr. Whisperer, is also going to join us in this next half hour.
Yes.
So tell me, Sharon, a little bit more about these wonderful people.
And Dawn. Love these ladies. So I was introduced to Jan first through Jessica Ravelli of Working Women at Tampa Bay, and we talked on the phone for probably an hour. I think we were supposed to talk for 10 minutes. And then we had a 19-hour lunch together, the three of us. And it really, really and truly, I love their entire brand and their company because I've recruited myself. I've been recruiting for 20 years. And just because I was an administrator and director of operations for New York Medical, and I realized very quickly how your team is everything. We talked about this in the last segment. And if you don't spend the time hiring the right people, screening the right people, you're really going to be lost for many, many, many years to come. So the investment in this part and training an entire organization is so helpful to a business. So I am a huge fan and refer out business as much as I can, because I think that they do very, very well because of their background, both of them together, with all of this experience. And you want people that are hiring and training to have actually done it before, and a lot of people in positions that are managers or administrators, they come in and they might not necessarily have that background in recruiting and in training organizations. So it's a powerful tool, what you guys both have. So
thank you.
enough
Yeah,
out
in
of me.
fact, to your point, most managers find themselves as managers when they performed well in the role that they were doing before. It doesn't mean they know what they're doing in terms of managing others or being a good leader. So developing a manager is just absolutely key to your organization. So if you're not spending time, if you're spending a lot of time, especially in sales-based industry, people spend a lot of time on their sales reps, which is absolutely necessary. They're the face of the company, but the managers behind those sales team members are often, disregarded perhaps when it comes to development and training. So we have really kind of picked a niche to look for that area of the leadership training.
And I know you don't just deal in healthcare too, by the way. I know that you deal with bigger organizations and let me just say that I know for myself in healthcare, a lot of what happens is that girl that was working in the front desk position has all of a sudden become the administrator, right? So, and that's because of trust and loyalty, right? They've been there a few years, right. So they just really assume that they can do it. And that's why your role is so vital.
Yeah, that is good. That's an important fact. A lot of people just kind of get into positions that maybe they're not trained for, and that goes back to management. Over the years of recruiting and working with managers, sales managers, the one thing that I've noticed is that they don't like to interview. They don't like the process of recruiting, interviewing, and hiring, because they don't know how. They've never been trained. And I've asked over and over, have you had training? And either they say none or very little. So, if they were trained on it, I guarantee they would enjoy it, because right now it's viewed as a laborious task.
The other thing is, even though we spend a lot of time on process and, learning how to kind of map that interviewing process from starting with recruiting all the way to hiring and onboarding, the other side of it, and why we called ourselves intuitive, is a big part of this is you're hiring humans. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't use your gut a little bit, you got to use your gut. So sometimes we try to be a little too mechanical through the process, and we miss some obvious flags that may not, meld well, whether it's on your team or for you. So we also spend time helping leaders understand their leadership style, because if they can't tell a candidate what it's like to work for them, like, okay, have you ever thought about what would it be like to work for you? And I've thought about that over the years that I've managed people in the last 10 years. What would it be like to work for me? And I'm sure my children could also say, what is it like to have to report to me at home too? But that's a key part. So we like to make sure that we bring that human element in as well.
Oh, isn't it like a bad thing to get too personal during an interview process, though? I mean, don't you want to stay kind of, professional, I guess?
Yeah, that's a great point. You do want to stay professional, and then that goes into the legal aspect, what you can and cannot ask. Yeah. And that can be a nightmare, because sometimes during the interview process, even hiring managers might not be trained on the legalities. There are legalities about names, about country, citizenship, about what you can, if you can lift a certain amount. There's all different kind of laws that questions you can and cannot ask.
Right,
so it's
like
really
marital status, things like that.
Exactly. You can't ask if you have kids or.
So how do you get around that? I mean, aren't you as a business owner at risk of hiring somebody that, say, might have to call in because they have to take care, they're a single parent or something like that, they got to leave constantly to get their kid? How do you get around that as a business owner and finding out what you're at risk?
Well, there's two parts to that. I mean, one is the obvious kind of legal situation that,
right.
You can and can't go to. So you should be educated in that. We do spend time with our clients to make sure they're educated on the legal part. But when it comes to, again, these are people managing people. And I mean, my philosophy, and I like to share it, is that, you know, if you have to go take care of your children, please go take care of your children. You can't work and do a great job if you've got a sick child at home, and you're, of course, that's where your mind is and that's where you need to be. So I think if business owners and leaders of companies continue to realize that the more they can have that human interaction with their employees, even through the interviewing process. And I had a candidate tell me once they were ready to come to work for me, and they hardly knew anything about the team yet, and it was a great compliment. But then I went back and said, why was that? Why did, you know, he tell me that? And it was mainly because, you know, I showed him a little bit of me. I was transparent.
Do you ever go into creeper mode and, like, you know, search for Facebook and things
all
like that?
All the time.
Everybody's doing that. So make sure your online presence is good.
I do it all the time. Some of my clients will say, did you see his Facebook picture, or did you see that LinkedIn picture?
Yeah.
Or how about he doesn't have a picture?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
And that can be scary.
How about did you
too.
see his arrest record?
Now there's certain things you can and cannot ask regarding that.
My Facebook picture is me in a luchador mask, so I doubt I'll get jobs off it.
Yeah, that could be an issue.
We're going to take a quick break. We're talking to Jan Henderson and Don Dill of Intuitive Training Solutions. Coming back.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank. And that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Very heavy traffic on the Howard Franklin Bridge into Tampa. If you're heading this way, leave yourself an extra 15 to 20 minutes. Crashes off to the right-hand side on the Tampa side of the bridge, but traffic extends all the way back into St. Pete. May want to take the Gandy Bridge to South Tampa if that's convenient for you. Also delays on the eastbound side, the Selman Expressway near 78th Street. Crash there in the right-hand lane. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. In places around the world, there are elders who long for community, connection, and the opportunity to live with greater dignity. Sponsor an elder through Unbound and help bring a brighter tomorrow to one person who has helped us all build a better world. Meet one at unbound.org.
Today, a mix of sun and clouds with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 30% rain chance, high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning. It's Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Friday, or Focus on You Strategy, and we're here at another Focus Fridays special segment with Sharon Feckety, the Doctor Whisperer.
That is a really hard thing to say. I give you a lot of credit for that.
Thank you.
Focus on You.
Thanks, Sharon. I appreciate that.
Feckety.
Focus Fridays with Sharon Feckety. Say that 3 times real fast.
Exactly.
Oh, that's too funny. So coming back, we have in the studio with us Jan Henderson and Don Dill. They are the co-owners of Intuitive Training Solutions, Inc. I believe Don said you're in St. Pete, and Jan, you're in Sarasota, correct?
Reversed. Other way around.
See,
okay.
I am so confused this morning. You know, you guys got me all in a pickle.
Focus
You know what?
Friday.
You know, I think it was because I went to that TBBO event last night, and I stayed up past my bedtime. So I'm glad I went though. It was a great event. So kudos to.
I heard Drunken Santa wasn't actually there. I'm so disappointed.
I just assumed that's why Jamie wasn't here today, because he was still at the bar.
No, Jamie's actually taking a little vacay and going to his high school reunion.
Well, if anybody deserves it, it's that man.
He
works
does
more than any human I know.
He does.
Speaking
so he
of
gets
his
a little
high
time
school
off.
reunion, you know, he was a kid in the 80s in high school. So I wonder if he busted out all his old, like, what do they call it, whitewashed jeans and his bandana and his Bruce Springsteen
He was breakdancing?
Yeah.
That's a good look.
Was MC Hammer at that time period? I know I'm older, so you know.
I think he was more my time period. MC Hammer.
Okay.
No, that's Kids on the Block.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
I digress. So let's get back to Intuitive Training
As we all do.
Solutions. They engage with you to design custom services to hire top talent, bring down your hiring costs, reduce the time to hire, fill your vacancies more quickly, avoid mishires, reduce turnover, build effective talent acquisition teams. And they also deliver interactive learning lessons utilizing the most current processes, tactics, and methods to meet your leadership development needs. And together, Dan and John have over 30 years of successful experience in recruiting and hiring in the healthcare industry. And before the break, we were talking about, you know, how important it is to make sure you have the right hire. And it's understood by most leaders that talent is one of the most impactful assets to the success of your organization, but hiring can be a challenge. In fact, The Economist states that the single biggest problem in business today is unsuccessful hiring, and the average hiring mistake costs a company $1.5 million or more a year and countless wasted hours. This statistics becomes even more startling when you consider that the typical hiring success rate of business owners and managers is only 50%. In spite of these facts, leadership training in the area of hiring top performers is generally lacking and oftentimes weak, and in many cases, Managers and directors are asked to hire employees who have revenue responsibility and are expected to grow their businesses, but they're not taught how to hire these ideal candidates quickly. And this is where you guys come in, right? You ladies, I should say. So tell us more about this.
Well, you did call them Dan and John.
I did. I'm so sorry. You know, I'm not going to live this down.
We
So
can do whatever we need to do.
So tell us more about that, Jan.
Yes, no, that's a key part. I mean, obviously, the cost of having a vacancy in your organization, for a long period of time or at all is very costly to the organization. Whether a manager has to fill in, do the role of that position, takes that manager away from other responsibilities, or if it's a sales job, you've got competitors that know that there's nobody in that territory. So just the vacancy alone can impact revenue and business opportunities. But on the back end of that, a lot of companies don't metric. What does it take to actually bring somebody in if they were the right hire afterwards? What was the cost if they weren't? So if it was a mistaken hire, which we've all done, then how long does it take to find that person either another position within your organization or to move them out?
I know when we talk into our clients, we're always telling them, when you're ready to hire, you really need to have all your processes in place and everything that you want done, because you need to know that you're hiring the right person for the job and not necessarily hiring a person and then giving them a job, because it's a really skinny edge of the wedge there and can cost you a lot of money with the wrong hire.
That's a great point. A lot of my clients and our clients hire a certain background. So they're really not looking for characteristics that make that person successful. And what happens is they hire themselves over and over and over. It's almost incestuous. You get the same thing over and over, and you get no fresh ideas.
And what's the definition of insanity?
Right, exactly. Doing the same thing over and getting the same results,
Yeah, or expecting a different result.
Right, expecting a different result. So this is one of the things we teach, to get out of your comfort zone and not look at certain companies that you want to hire, but look at the person. Does this person have the characteristics that will make them successful in the job?
Absolutely.
Do you think the mistake people make is looking for themselves in new hirees? I mean, because a lot of people, I'm sure Julianne knows. I mean, you want to hire somebody as close to yourself as possible because you believe you're the only person that can actually do the job. So is that a common mistake amongst new business owners?
It is. Not only new business owners, but people that have been in business for a while often hire themselves. And again, it's just getting the same thing over and over, no new ideas.
Well, we also say that, we can't do it all as CEOs. And a lot of times what we find is when we start to delegate more, we understand that then we can focus on things we do best. So we need to surround ourselves with the right people who can do the things, either one, that we don't want to do, or two, that we don't do that well. We're not perfect at everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Another thing we talk about quite a bit is self-assessment, because you should know what your strengths are. There's companies like StrengthsFinder, DISC Profiling, Fascinate, and they all help you understand better where your strengths are, so that, once you hire somebody else, you can have them take some of those if they haven't yet either. And you can blend a team better because you're bringing in people with different strengths.
And we bring in a predictive index into that too. And if you're familiar with PI, and they also have that same way of saying, it's not just the skill set, but it's also who they are. As a person, you can't change that. They're going to be that way no matter what. So you want to make sure you have the right people in place.
Right. I also think too that you really need to know what position you're hiring for, right? Mm-hmm. So when I tell my clients to hire a front office person, don't just look at what's on their resume. When you meet them, and if they're shiny, bubbly people, those are the right people to have at that front office position. So, and then if there's somebody that might be a little on the shy side and they want to be front office, maybe they should be in billing, or, a position where you're not having all of that human interaction unless it's maybe on the phone.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to understand exactly what that job entails doing. So we always tell clients, make sure you go through the entire process of that job, everything that's involved in doing that job. If that means you have to have good customer service skills, if you have to, what is it that you're doing in that job, and what is the process for that, so that when you go to hire and delegate that job to somebody, you've got the right person in place. There's nothing worse than hiring somebody that says they know how to do Microsoft, and the majority of the thing is Microsoft, but then they get in there and they really cannot do Microsoft. They're like, oh, I can type in it, but if I had to do an Excel spreadsheet, forget it. You know?
I can Google.
Yeah.
But,
YouTube it.
Yeah, and part of what we like to do as an exercise with our clients is kind of force them to write job descriptions. I mean, boring activity, but looking up, there's a philosophy or methodology called Lominger, which develops competencies that you can throw competencies, if you could say the word, into different job positions. So if you force yourself to say, what am I really looking for this job? So now going back to their experiences and how can they show you through interactive interviewing that they've practiced some of those competencies. So if they can't give you examples, they can say, I'm really good at answering the phone, but tell me about a few of those. And all of a sudden, so it teaches the interviewer how to pull that out of the interviewee. But you really have to know what you're placing. What
and
kind of
even
position
the
it is.
ad, you can. I don't put a typical ad out when I'm recruiting, because if I am hiring, say, for a billing manager, I'm not going to insult that person by listing all of the duties that I need for a billing manager. I would assume that you know what they are. So I kind of trick them with that. But then I also, even when I'm interviewing, I interviewed somebody the other day, and I said, can you meet me at 7 o'clock tonight or 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon? And it's like a trick and a test, so she met me at 7 o'clock at night, which was amazing. Because if she had said 2 o'clock tomorrow, well, girl, you're not working. Why can't you meet me? Right? No sense of urgency. So there's so much that goes into it. And you bringing that to the table and teaching them how to not just hire, train, but how to even place an ad.
I never knew it was so complicated. I thought all people had to worry about was, making sure their employee passes a drug test.
On that note.
Thank you to Jan Henderson and Don Dell of Intuitive Training Solutions. You can find them at www.intuitivetrainingsolutions.com. And thank you, Sharon Feckerty from the Dr. Whisperer, for being here this morning. Woo-hoo. And you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
The opinions, viewpoints,